Move on to the other major player in the sector, also Cape Town based, but the other side of the railway tracks. That's Sanlam, of course, established as a life insurance group in 1918 in Cape Town also. Expanded its services to include short-term insurance. Wasn't always there, was in Sanlam, of course, is their almost subsidiary in that space. They were out of it, now they're back into it. But of course, it's got major businesses in estate planning, loans, capital markets, all forms of asset management. Substantial player in the asset management business in this country, both with regard to equities, fixed income, the whole lot. Market cap I see these days is a whisker below 100 billion rand. Wow, what a move. Price to earnings ratio 16, dividend yield of 3%. Wilhelm, so this is the one that stayed at home, and of course in the period from like 2000 to 2005, that looked like a very clever move, and since then again done particularly well and seems to be firing on all cylinders.
Yes, I must say, I think Johan van der Merwe, as the CEO of Sanlam, has done a stellar job in focusing on the areas where Sanlam historically had strength and building on that, and not chasing some.
You're talking Johan van Zyl at the top, Johan van der Merwe in the asset management business, right?
Apologies, quite right, yes, quite right there.
Just to give credit where it's due.
So, absolutely. So for sure, they've done very well, and we admire them for that.
As far as their businesses though, I mean, it has the same kind of basic characteristics with regard to the local market. We don't necessarily have to look at that again. Their approach seems now emerging markets. I mean, I know they've done something pretty substantial in Asia, both with regard to India, I think, and then more recently another bolt-on acquisition in another Asian country. Does that, in your mind, constitute the real sort of strategy for this business?
It does look like it. There is a big emerging markets focus. Again, we are cautious about those strategic efforts. Emerging markets, Africa, Asia, those are very sexy and very hot, and people like to go there. That often means that there's a lot of competition. It means that it's not that easy to make great money there. But having said that, if you look at the results being reported by companies like AIA, which is a big insurance business in Asia, Prudential, which is a big Asian business, those businesses are doing very well. So there does seem to be some merit in those plans at least.
Yeah, because I mean, this opportunity to sell products to emerging consumers is in some respects the most exciting investment opportunity in the history of capitalism. We know that in Asia there are lots of people who take their future quite seriously, like everything. There's lots of emerging middle-income families. I'm pretty sure that the penetration of life insurance in India is pitifully low. So what's not to like? I mean, am I perhaps just sort of being a bit rosy in my optimism? I mean, is it not true to say that any price you pay for these kind of businesses is too low?
Well, I would say that saying that any price to pay is too low is probably a bit over-optimistic. But having said that, there are great opportunities, but as I say, great opportunities tend to attract a lot of competition and a lot of capital. So that means that the growth that one sees in a market is not necessarily captured by the new entrants to a market or even by the existing entrants into a market. It basically dissipates amongst competitors.
What about Sanlam?
I think that's what one sees in China.
What about Sanlam? Because we saw results out from Sanlam, I think, in the last couple of hours, and it looked like they'd had, too many rainstorms and all sorts of kind of, sort of problems related to underwriting. Are you concerned that that will have a carry-through effect to the Sanlam price?
I guess short-term results, or Sanlam's results, will impact Sanlam's results that they'll report soon. But insurance, specifically short-term insurance, is cyclical. It does go through very good and very bad years. On average, Sanlam has been a phenomenal business in South Africa. They've generated fantastic returns, consistently generating good underwriting profits, positive underwriting profit margins. So on average, Sanlam is a fantastic business, and it's contributed greatly to Sanlam. Excellent. So this may be a bad year, but I don't think that's something anyone will concern themselves too much about. Okay, so I know it was tough with Old Mutual. I guess it's going to be tough with this one as well. Where are you going with regard to hot or not with regard to Sanlam, Wilhelm? Well, Sanlam is actually easy in my mind because Sanlam is priced for such perfection that I think there's very little room for anything to go wrong in Sanlam's business for the share price to actually disappoint. So I'm going with not on Sanlam.